Good morrow, good people. It's your girl, Ray P, or Rhaynera the Cruel, or Rhaynera the Generous and Benevolent, back for another episode of the We Got Y'all podcast. Of course, I'm not here alone. I'm joined by my amazing lore hand, Kieron the Cool, aka K Rich. What's going on?
What's the word, Your Grace? How are you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Happy to be here. Obviously, talking to you. Um, I love our pre-production talks, which have nothing to do with the topic at hand. It's just a good
Yeah,
chance to just chop it up with Ray P.
for sure.
Um, I love Rachel, man. If y'all don't know
Oh,
already, but yeah, I'm happy to be here. We are getting to the end of this season of
crazy.
House of the Dragon. Before we get into like all the synopsis and all that, let me just ask you something real quick.
Yeah.
Based on user ratings, this is the lowest rated episode in House of the Dragon history. How do you feel about that?
I don't like that at all. Especially coming after last week. I actually kind of loved this episode.
It's funny. I'm starting to realize there's two different crowds, maybe
Hmm.
three. Two for sure. I pointed out there's that crowd who are is only watching this for the show.
Hmm.
And then there's the book readers,
Yeah.
and the book readers are more on the side of every episode counts, every episode matters. Like
Hmm.
they don't view these as filler episodes. Like all of the stuff that is provided really matters. And then the TV watchers or the show watchers are just like, oh, I want a little bit more action. I don't
Hmm.
want so much planning and the whole nine. And then you have us who aren't book readers but still appreciate the details in the show. Maybe
Hmm.
because we're once again not trying to toot the horns, but um, we watch more prestige television and kind of appreciate smart television shows. It
Yeah.
doesn't always have to be like the pool or the action or the trick that
Hmm.
gets us in. We can appreciate the brick by brick process that they're
Yeah.
setting up. I just always, I'm always entertained when I see the non battle episodes and see people talking about, oh, this one was a filler or
Hmm.
this wasn't that good, and I'm like, yo, this is a perfect second watch candidate. I always
Yeah.
tell people if you didn't like an episode at first, like watch it again, like wait at
Watch it.
night, sleep on it, and then watch it again. If you watch this the second time, so much better than the first watch. And I enjoyed the first watch, but man, it really sets a lot of things in motion.
Hmm.
So just had to start off with that. Um, we'll get started.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should say before we get started, we are on YouTube. Please remember to like, subscribe, share,
Mm.
comment, leave a review, leave a rating, everything else. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe to Apple, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Obviously, this is not a scene by scene breakdown, more of a general conversation, even though there are a lot of things to touch on. And we do not go too deep into the books. We'll share some information if we have it. But this is mostly from the viewer's standpoint as far as what we're talking about. There will be spoilers and explicit content. We are here to discuss season 2, episode 6 of House of the Dragon, titled Smallfolk, directed by Andrew Perrick, written by Eileen Shim, based on the book Fire and Blood by George R. Martin, and the show is currently streaming on Max. Rachel, your grace. I wrote a synopsis this week.
Okay.
Normally, normally I copy and paste,
Hmm.
the general synopsis for the episode, but I just figured got a little time, put my own little twist on it. So,
Okay.
synopsis of the episode: is Queen Rhaynera gonna have to smack a bitch? A member, a member of her small council gets a swift reminder on chain of command. Aemond is in full control of the realm and makes some changes to his council. Streets are talking, and they're saying the people are starving. Queen Rhaynera makes a chess move to take advantage of this play. Seasmoke spends time looking for the hood niggas. And Alicent and Queen Rhaynera and Mysaria are reminded that worst comes to worst, they have each other. Rachel,
Yeah.
season 2, episode 6. What are your opening thoughts on the episode?
Okay. So funny. Shout out to my good sis Kiana. Probably at about like 8:57, she texts me like, "Bitch, why am I nervous about this episode?" And I'm like, "High key, me too." Be because of the previews, essentially the trailer, I think I was anticipating something else for this particular episode. However, it did not disappoint. I loved this episode. You started off talking about episodes being fillers and this, that, and the third. However, that is kind of how I felt upon first watch of last week's episode. But I did not feel like that at all watching Smallfolk. So I'm very intrigued about the lowest rating ever because I can think of a number of episodes not as good as this, you know? So I'm very interested in that. How about you?
Yeah, I went to look at some of the reviews just to get a better idea. And you have a lot of 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10s, which aren't, when you read the reviews, they're not really warranted. Those are just people who
Mhm.
want a little bit more action. So it's not really
Yeah.
fair. Then you have some 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10 just saying, I
Mm.
can't understand how people are saying they don't like this episode.
Yeah.
I obviously fall in the latter. I don't understand how you enjoy a show like this and can't go without, dragons or battles or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
So much set up, and you said it perfectly, Rachel. Based off of last week's episode, how it ended, and looking into the previews for this week's episode, I had a different expectation of what this was going to be.
For
I
sure.
just thought it was going to be a little bit more action packed. So I think going into it with my first watch, not really seeing what I was expecting, or kind of waiting throughout the episode. This was a longer episode, I think an hour and
Yeah.
8 minutes.
Hmm.
Um, I was waiting for that other shoe to drop, and then it never happened. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I went to sleep, and then I watched it again today, and I'm like, yo, this is a good ass episode.
Yeah.
Like, this is really good, and it really sets up what we probably need in the last 2 episodes. But I've also tempered my expectations to where I don't even really want to have an idea what I think is going to happen in these last 2 episodes. I just want it to naturally come.
Well, I hear you on that, but also I just want to come in here and say that I be knowing.
Hey, there's a few moments where I wrote down Rachel was on it. Rachel was on it. Like, you were definitely on it.
If I say it's gonna rain, bring your fucking umbrella. Do you hear me? So I love it. So all of that aside, again, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share till we got y'all. Even Culture Garden, even Good Earners.
The whole nine, the whole gamut. It's going to be in the link tree. You'll see it in the episode description.
For sure. We out here, guys. So let's get into season 2, episode 6, entitled Smallfolk. Where do you want to start? I guess for the sake of where we usually start, I guess we can start at the top, just because of it was very interesting. The
We're gonna
episode.
talk. We'll talk later on about how y'all was showing y'all ass on the internet yesterday. When it comes to Seasmoke, we'll definitely talk about that. But we'll say that.
Yeah.
Internet was showing. Hey, black folk was showing their ass about Seasmoke. I was here for it. I ain't mad at it.
Shout out to them dragons.
Shout out to them dragons.
So the episode opens with one of the brothers Lannister, who is joining up his army to essentially take Harrenhal. And did you get the name of the other lord he was meeting with?
Yes, he was. That was House Lefford. I forget exactly. It was Lord Lefford. That area is called the Tooth. They called it the Golden Tooth. Yeah, that's pretty much it. He's not really a main player as far as I know.
Got it. So they were essentially trying to go get the Riverlands and surprise Daemon. However, Brother Lannister throws a monkey wrench in the plan when he says, oh, we can go, but not until you send a raven back to King's Landing, that we won't be marching until Aemond and Vhagar come on along. What kind of balls is that? These Lannisters have never lacked audacity.
You know who you can get that off on, Rachel. And that's always my belief, because you know who you can get that off on. Like, they knew they could walk up to those steps and say that, and y'all gonna accommodate us in the whole nine. Something about, I know y'all weren't expecting this, but we here.
That's crazy.
We're here to stay. We're here to stay for a while.
I could take the stay for a while, because here's the thing. even we consider these great warriors, ready for battle, a sword in my hand during infancy. However, nobody is really ready for war. The rumors of what shit Vagar, Meleese, and even Sapphire ain't really do shit, but
Right.
Vagar and Meleese burning up all them people, it doesn't take long for word to spread. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going into battle where we know now that everybody knows Damon is at Heron Hall, and we know that he has Caraxes. We will be crazy to go in there undragoned, especially since nobody seems to know that Damon is incapacitated and hallucinating every day.
That's the thing, Rachel. If I think that was Jason Lannister. I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember if Jason's the one out there in the field or he's the one at the council. Either way,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at them. Like I
Yeah.
know Damon and Caraxes is there. Like
Mm-hmm.
hey, I got 1,000 niggas with me ready to march. I got some lions. I don't know why you brought lions. I don't know what their
I
purpose
think that
is or
might
what they're
be their
supposed to be
house
doing.
thing.
Yeah, but what they gonna like? What are they gonna do? Like they're gonna be dragon food. Like what are we doing? Like
They might be dragon food, but until the dragons show up, they can be tearing people from limb to limb.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's a good
They
point.
look
Are
hungry in
the
them
are the are
places.
the are the lions trained? I got questions. That's neither here nor there, I guess.
Listen, how do you train a dragon? Same one.
Fair. Fair. Um, but yeah, I need Vagar. Like Vagar the big bully on the block. Like I
For
feel a
sure.
lot better if Vagar's on my corner. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead and send for him, and we'll be here until he comes. And obviously that gets us transition right into the small council meeting where Aemond's like, nigga, I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I ain't him. Like I said, Rachel, you know who you can get this off on.
Mm-hmm.
You might be able to say it to his face like that, but you ain't saying it to my face like that because you know what's gonna happen.
I'm I'm actually surprised, even though I understand the logic of it all. That's something you get off on Aegon, who's
one
going
Hundred
to
percent.
send Vagar or try to go himself with some fire. I don't think that is something that you can get off, in your words, on Aemon One Eye, Aemon the Cruel,
Nah, really.
Aemon the Unkind. I don't know why you thought that that will work. In less than it working, I don't know how you thought that that wouldn't piss me off.
See, now I'm thinking about now, Rachel. I think you once again, no surprise here. I think you're right because I'm thinking about this in my head, and it's one of two things, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
either a y'all ain't really familiar with me yet, me being Aemond.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all not really familiar with my rule. Y'all might just think I'm muscle, but
You familiar with
I'm
my
not the
game?
nigga you want to. Exactly, you're not familiar with my game. Like I'm not the nigga you want to play with. So it's got to
Mm-hmm.
be that, like, or B, the Lannisters are just really that ridiculous and just don't care and just are really that full of themselves to
Yeah.
just demand whatever. It's one of the two, and it might be the latter because
Listen,
how dare you?
they got the coin and the audacity. Hello.
Let me. Here, were you surprised at all by the way Aemon is ruling? Not in his style, but we talked a few times about the classic. If you're really king, you don't have to tell anyone you're king, right?
Mhm.
He gets that letter. He said, "Who are they to like summon me anywhere with
Yeah.
haste? Like I'm the prince. I'm the prince regent,
Mhm.
announcing who you are once again." I don't know if that's more of us just showing their youth, or is there some kind of uncertainty in what he's doing? Because a real leader doesn't have to like really. They don't have to justify themselves to the masses. This is the decision. Y'all gonna roll with it.
I think it's all of those things. But
Okay.
also consider Eamon was the bullied, weird ass child, the second son, despite being a master swordsman, fighter, drag Vagar's rider. He very much like Damon, they have the same complex. It's the look at me, I'm the boss because you've been overlooked because you are not the chosen one,
Mm.
despite all your valiant and great efforts. There's that. And then there's also even if I'm not the Prince Regent, who the fuck are you talking to? I'm still Aemon Targaryen. I am still that
Fair.
one. So I think it's a little bit of all of that. Like, I'm actually taken aback by your audacity. And you got me fucked up. And maybe we know Aemon one night he can swing a sword, this, that, and the third, but also I might be inclined to believe y'all don't really know this nigga is off.
Who, Aemon?
Aemon, yeah,
Yeah, they don't know that.
he's
They
been
scared of him.
perceived as dignified, the dignified brother. Not while he's in the brothels, he's always off in secret with Sylvie. You know,
Hmm.
he ain't for the public like Aegon was. So all of his stuff is low key, and he's always presented himself as the brother most like Viserys, this, that, and the third, Damon. And so they're not familiar with his game. They don't know that this nigga's crazy,
Yeah,
and
he's
still struggling with the rife of childhood trauma.
no.
Or
What you said was perfect, and I think that's why I even posed the question, because even to the viewers in a small dosage, Eamon's an enigma.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, he's just kind of an enigma, and you don't really know how he's going to handle each situation. You can anticipate and assume, but until you see it, like how his response wasn't what I thought it was going to be, as far
hmm,
as just kind of filled with the emotion.
yeah,
Like, how dare the ego being into it? Like, how dare they send for me?
yeah,
I'm some little nigga. Like you said, Rachel, Queen King Prince Regent or not, I'm still Aemon Targaryen.
that
Title or
part,
no title. My
that part.
name is my name. It carries
Hmm,
what it carries. And y'all know who
hmm,
I ride with.
hmm,
You know what I mean? So, like, watch your tongue when you talk to me. Um he has the decision, or makes the plan to who was it? The Triarchy. He wants an alliance with the Triarchy so he can kind of end this blockade. Obviously, the Triarchy can't be trusted. They really are pirates.
yeah,
Do we want them that close to King's Landing? But he has the idea, we need to make sure that we have um, a way to stop this blockade.
yeah,
What did you think about? Well, before we even get there, he's asked about the Greyjoys, and the Greyjoys are still like, "Mum is the word." They haven't said anything, and I don't know the guy at the table who mentioned this, but it was just saying, "Hey, catch more bees with honey than vinegar.
yeah,
Maybe we can offer them something, like maybe the marriage of the Queen Dowager." The look on her face, the look
baby.
on Sir Kristen Cole, and on his face when he looked up at Sir Kristen Cole, was like, "Oh, okay, my bad. I ain't mean to
Like,
bring that up."
in all caps, I have, oh, the whole castle knows about Allison and Cole. You've said
Mm-hmm.
it's the worst kept secret. Oh, it is the abs. I can't even call it a secret at this point because it's clear everybody fucking knows. They're the only ones, and Cole might know. Allison is the only one who doesn't know that everybody knows.
She wilding.
She's wrapped up in her delusion, as we later see in the episode. That's fucking crazy. We've got to
Yeah,
get that. We've got to get that councilman's name because I don't have it either.
yeah. I'll find it. But let me ask you this: we have, well, real quick before we get to the end scene of that, or the end part of that scene. Um, Obviously, Eamon says, Sir Christian Cole, it's been real, my nigga, but it's time to get to Harrenhal. It's time to get to Harrenhal, which is not a terrible idea. We'll have uh, Casterly Rock and the Lannisters attacking from one side. You can attack from the other side. Caraxes can't fight two fronts. Daemon can't fight the war on two fronts. Like, one of them is gonna be go down bad, and the other one's gonna have clear entry into Harrenhal. Um, Obviously, thinking that's a good strategy, and I think low key, let's break up this little bullshit that you and my mama got going on as well.
For sure.
You see early in the scene, Allison putting in her 2 cents, and Eamon legit straight up, "You're not even here."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not even acknowledging that you said something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is the most disrespectful. It's one thing to give somebody a look or a stare to acknowledge your presence, but I didn't even. Is somebody talking? What? Huh? What's that? I don't hear
Listen,
shit.
Allison buttered her bread on the wrong side. This is what you've created. And I was not at all surprised. It's not the first time we've seen Aemond disregard Alicent in the small council.
Remind me of your place on the small council.
What is it
Like,
that
what
you
is? Why is she around?
do?
Why are you here, my nigga?
She got a weird case.
So why is she around? Straight up, you got some accusations going on against you, mom.
Mom, right. I've already said I'll be knowing, but I just want to say I told you I feel like this in the breakup to your point is further proof of my point that Eamon for a fucking fact knew about Kristen Cole and Allison.
Yeah,
I told
this
you
is
I feel like he was giving himself away.
he really is. You were once again you were right.
Hmm.
And he was slick with it too. Like you served the realm well in your time of need. That need is no longer that need is ended. I
Yeah,
release you of your seat. You can go back to your domestic activities. Like, go back to
that's
go chase dick around the castle.
yeah. We didn't talk about it, but in regards to Heron Hall, Eamon really thinks Damon is scared of him. It is
I
something
think he
about
front.
those greens and their level of delusion that is astounding to me. It's like amazing.
I think Aemon fronting. That's a
I
front. Aemon doesn't think Damon's afraid of him. He's convincing himself that Damon's afraid of him. He don't really believe that.
I don't know.
I do believe now. Let me say this in an odd way. It's hard to really describe this. I don't think that Aemon is scared of Damon. I
No,
don't think that at all.
hmm I don't think so
But
either.
I think he has to help himself by telling himself that Damon is afraid of him.
It's
Like, he
very,
doesn't want that smoke. Like, that's the last resort. Like, I don't want to see my uncle for real.
yeah.
Like, not when it's life or death. I would love to spar with you if I can spar with you, just to kind of see where my sword work is. See if I see what I need to work on. Okay, cool, that's cool. But life or death, like if I all the chips in the table, like I might if I lose I die. I don't know if he wants that. He's not confident with that.
Ooh, I hear you. I don't know, but I hear you. Speaking
My
of
uncle is a challenge.
Damon,
My uncle is a challenge. I'll gladly welcome. We'll see.
we'll see, because he's still Damon Targaryen.
That's what I'm
Do
saying.
you, in regards to Damon, do you want to go to Heron Hall or do you want to hit the Black Council?
Now let's go to Harren Hall because I'm sick of these. I'm sick of this nigga, and I'm sick of Harren Hall.
Okay. For the umpteenth week in a row, I want Damon Targaryen out of Heron Hall. This was the first time we've seen him make an attempt to leave, however.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I said it last week. I am in agreement. We see in the Heron Hall, not necessarily this scene, but after one of Damon's many visions, when he's awakened by Lord Strong, he says, my friend in the daylight, but my foe at night. I am starting to believe that. I said last week that Sir Strong was sick of Damon being in Heron Hall, but I really believe that he is out for this man, has it out for this man.
It's hard not to. Well, I'm not all the way there yet. The case has been strengthened, but I'm still not all the way there yet. I just think Harren Hall's weird, and I think Alice Rivers has a big part of this.
For sure.
Maybe, maybe you're calling it exactly right, Rachel, and I'm just maybe Sir Simon Strong is just so unexpected that I'm not really taking him seriously. He still is like a little bit of a. He's got that Magoo in him, like just a
Uh-huh.
little bit Magooish. Like, all right, nigga, whatever. But
Yeah.
I could also see it. He up to something. Man, nigga, you don't put a blade to me.
He's up to something for
I
sure.
know some things about like what I lack in like brute strength or brute force.
Hmm.
I have in the secrets of this hall. Like this is my family's castle.
That part.
Like, I know some things about this place that can really have you fucked up. Um, I think we all are thinking, and we probably know that this is Alice Rivers that have been
Hmm.
poisoning him.
Yeah.
But who knows if Sir Simon Strong doesn't have any kind of say so in that as well? I don't know because he's
Yeah.
not. He told us up front from day one, nigga. I don't get into this politics shit.
Hmm.
Castle was open. Nigga, we had a little coin left. I figured I'd kick my feet up. Nobody gonna bother us. Then you showed up. I ain't put up no fight.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, how long you gonna be here? When you leaving?
When you leaving, exactly. And he
Yeah.
tried. But before he tries to escape, we do get the first vision that Damon has. And it is of Viserys, our first Viserys sighting of the season.
Can I just say you were right again? Because I asked the question. I asked the
By all
question.
means.
Yeah, I asked a question one of the episodes. I said, "Hey, do you think we get a Viserys flashback?" This is when we were in the young Rhaenyra flashbacks, and
Yeah.
you said absolutely, and here we are.
I mean, again, right
Never
near
failed.
the clairvoyant.
Hey, that train is never late. That train is never late.
Okay. So yeah, we get the Viserys visions, and this is when Damon was essentially banished from King's Landing. He notes that he says the air for a day. If you remember in season one, Aemond, Rhaenyra's mother, was delivering her fifth, I believe, stillborn child who was a boy, a male who would have been the heir. And Damon was in the brothels being Damon and referred to the deceased child as an heir for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, King's Landing is not that big, and that got back to King Viserys. And he is gutted, hurt, pissed, embarrassed, and basically banishes Damon from the castle. You and your lady wife get the fuck up out of here. And I love Lena, but y'all got to go because this is
Yeah.
what the fuck you be on. It's the first time here and in the secondary vision where Damon is actively, dare I say, sorrowful, remorseful of his action.
Yeah.
He's affected by the visions of Rhaenyra. Yes, seeing Lena is trippy. Fucking my mom is weird. Which sidebar? I read that Matt Smith, the actor, the fact that that was his mother was left out of the script. So that reaction when she says my darling son was real, like, yo, what the fuck? He was not expecting that. I don't know who he thought she was, but it certainly wasn't his mother.
I love it. I love it. I love when directors mess with their actors like that and don't give
Yeah,
them all the information for those
yeah.
real.
I love that. But so it's the first time we see Damon. I don't want to say truly, truly, truly affected by the vision, but it was definitely a different reaction than what we've seen thus far.
Yeah, I think it's been a buildup. I think
Yeah.
slowly but surely, ever since we got his first visions and young Rhaenyra and himself dressed as Aemon One Eye, even now to his brother.
Hmm.
We've discussed in past episodes. This is Damon having to face his past,
Yeah.
face the decisions he's made, and why you're even at Heron Hall to begin with,
Hmm.
right? And coming to terms with that. And you are absolutely right. I think with each vision, he becomes more remorseful.
Hmm.
Um, and this was by far the one that you wanted to. This is what Viserys wanted while he was living.
Yes. Yes. So Damon is basically experiencing like a night before Christmas.
Yeah,
Every night he's in Heron Hall, he's visited by the ghosts of brothers past, lovers
yeah.
past, mothers past, all of that shit. So after this, and then the spat with Lord Strong, Damon, this is the first time we see him for real, trying to leave. And Alice stops him. What did you think of her stopping him?
Um, so they have some weird bond,
Yeah.
some kind of odd connection because it seems like every time Alice comes around, Damon is irritated or perturbed. Yet he still gives her the time of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and he still has conversations with her and gains counsel from her.
Yeah,
Let's be clear, counsel, because
for
we know
sure.
Damon wouldn't ask for advice,
For
per
sure.
him. Before we even get there, I thought it was funny because Sir Simon Strong said, I'm really worried that you ain't getting enough sleep because my
Mhm.
nigga, you be tripping.
Yeah.
So he's trying to leave, as you mentioned, and he says he's been cursed. Damon says he's been cursed. I
Mm-hmm.
believe Alice Rivers has done it. I think
For
she knows
sure.
full well what's going on.
For sure.
Um, I think that she, because she's giving him real bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is trying to keep him on the side of maybe you don't know what role I play in this story. But she told him something does not please you and you run.
Yeah.
Like that's who you are. Like as soon as something becomes inconvenient, go ahead.
Shout out to Mysaria and Rhaenyra's conversation about Damon being a
Mm-hmm.
runner. Go ahead. Everybody tell the truth
Okay.
about you. All your women.
Sure. Yeah, everybody. Women don't lie about niggas.
It takes a woman.
Nah, it always does. It always does. Yeah, you see something doesn't please you, you start running. In regard to the crown, those who strive for it are least fitted to wear it.
That part.
It's
All
not a
them
prize
girls.
to be won, but a burden to wear.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Damon opens up and says, I need help. She
Yeah.
has one of her visions about House Tully.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll find out later in the episode when Sir Simon Strong comes and lets Damon know that Grover Tully is passed.
Mm-hmm.
And now Oscar is the paramount. We were sent macers from all over. Our own Alice went over. And there
She
was
killed
nothing that could be done. She killed
that.
that
Mm-hmm.
nigga.
For
That's
sure.
what she pretty much told him. Like, give it some time, 3
3
days or
days.
whatever it is. Yeah, it's cool. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. So that lets you know already the power that she has. He realizes that at the moment, which now is this the first time that Damon's probably thinking like, I can do a lot of damage with you on my side. Do you think he tries to like get her on Team Damon?
Yes. Because he needs everything that he could possibly have to his advantage. It's just him out there, even though he has Caraxes, it's just him. To Rhaenyra's later point, we don't have the numbers in the Riverlands, regardless, to
Mm-hmm.
combat everything that the Greens are bringing. He has an interest in Alice. And again, I just think he'll use whatever tactic he possibly can to get his ultimate goal, which is to be on the Iron Throne for himself. So even if I have to position it as me doing it for Rhaenyra, Alice already knows that it's for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I've already laid my soul bare to you about my plans for my claim to the throne. So I don't even have to front with you anymore. It is what it is. There's a level of fronting, I think, still going on with Lord Strong, because I don't think he didn't outright tell him the same way he told Allison what his plan was, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, he
That's
gonna use
that's
her if she allow
that's
herself to be used. But that's the thing. It would Alice can't be manipulated.
so that's why she's probably the most fascinating character
Mm-hmm.
to me, because I know we've discussed it before. Her and Aemond, how does that happen? That's what I'm more curious about right now, because
Yeah,
it seems like her and Damon have, not romantically, but they just have some kind of connection,
correct.
and she has an interest in helping Damon.
Right.
Whatever her reasoning and her motive is, she has an interest there. We see
Mm-hmm.
that clearly this episode, even though at the same time she's also messing with his mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what her long game is. I'm waiting for that reveal,
Yeah.
and I don't. I doubt we get it this season. That's probably a season 3, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even further down the line type of thing. Um, but it's been an interesting story to watch pan out, because Alice can't be trusted, and I
Yeah.
know she's Team Green. I just want to know how she gets there.
She could be just like me, love driving niggas crazy. I don't know.
You might be right. You might be right. Um, you mentioned earlier about going to Team Black. Let's
Yeah,
go ahead and just jump to that
let's
council real
hit
quick.
that
Lord
first
Corliss.
council.
Yeah.
So it's good to see Corliss, hand of the queen,
Mm-hmm.
with his pen ready for the first Black council. I'm, I'm glad that he accepted. His ass is on time. He's not showing up on CP time, trying to make a grand entrance. He's there and ready to work for our queen.
Yeah. Shout out to Baby.
Shout out to Bayla getting
Putting
shit
the
done.
battery in his back. You can tell when Baylor's not in the episode. I miss Baylor this episode.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Shout
But
out to
shout out to
Rain.
Raina. Raina held it down. Raina held it down.
She did. So at this council, Rhaenyra presents the council with the idea of allowing Dragon Seed, even though she didn't use those words, to ride Vermithor and Silverwing. And the suggestion is Lord Stephen Darkland, who shares Targaryen blood. I believe she said it's his maybe great grandmother who was a Targaryen princess.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Stephen is elated and honored by the idea. He has ridden 10 toes down with Rhaenyra, even after losing his father. We saw last week he was a little tight about this delayed revenge plan. However, with this, he said, "Hey, I said I would serve you with my in life and in death. I'm down. Let me see what's up." So he is eager to hit the dragon pit, despite everybody else in the council being like,
Hey,
let's rethink
hey,
this.
that's the ultimate. I got good news and I got bad news. Which one you want
Yeah,
to hear first? The good
yeah.
news is you might be able to ride a dragon, my nigga. The bad news is if you can't, you gonna die.
You gonna die. Okay, let's get to the pit because that was the council. Unless there's somewhere else you want to go before we get to the pit.
That's exactly where I would have transitioned.
Okay.
The Dragon Rider Olympics. Seasmoke
Okay.
funny as fuck.
So we get to the dragon pit. We are hearing the hymns of old Valerian to entice Seasmoke from the from
Hey, Seasmoke fucking hilarious, man. You hilarious and Seasmoke hilarious. Both of y'all
So the dragon tamers with their rod and staff bring Seasmoke out. He comes from the shield of the dark cover of night in the pit and comes out and sees Rhaenyra, Jace, and the rest of them fools and the rest of the help. Stefan was obviously afraid, but also enamored because, and that's the interesting thing. It occurred to me here that I don't think that most other people really see these dragons up close like that. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? They might see you in the sky. We know y'all got these dragons, y'all the Targaryens, whatever. But to actually see and be in all the glory of these majestic beasts is a whole other thing. And so I think that despite the fear, pride, and eagerness to want to be able to claim this. What you mean I got royal blood? I ain't know. I mean, yeah, the darkness is high born, but ain't know we was Targs, you know. So he's geeked. He, like Aemond, it starts to drink the Kool-Aid of me being able to do this, despite probably never. He might have come close to I can't remember Rhaenyra's dragon's name right now, just because he was one of her white cloaks. But the workers are singing this hymn. Rhaenyra and Jace are waiting with bated breath. And Sir Stephen is like, Rabis, Rabis, Seasmoke.
Hey, man.
Ridiculousness. My first
Listen.
thought, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Seasmoke is peeping out the scenery, wishing a nigga would, trying to figure out what's going on. I know who Rhaenyra is. I know who Jace is. I obviously know these handlers. But who is this nigga standing before me trying to talk to me? You don't know that everybody can't talk to me. I already miss my real rider. And this is who you got in my face? This old man? Are you crazy?
Seasmoke said, y'all got me fucked up if y'all brought this nigga thinking he about to ride me. Like, y'all playing games.
Said, fuck what y'all talking about. He puts his head down, looks this nigga in the face, eases back. Everybody know what's about to happen. All the workers, chill, Seasmoke, be cool. Sharkeisha, no, Seasmoke. All we see is breath of fire bubbling up in Seasmoke's mouth, and he burns this nigga alive. He and the other handler, who was immediately next. This man, who knows, and I understand this has to be protocol because being burned alive has to be one of the most painful deaths. This nigga pulls his blade from and slits his own throat. Like, nah,
Yeah.
all right, you ain't about to slow death me. We see Stephen Darkland stop, dropping, and rolling, and that fire is still ablaze. It's not going anywhere. And everybody, like, we got to get the fuck up out of here. Seasmoke bounces. Like, okay, y'all got me fucked up.
Bounce.
All I could think about in that moment is who the fuck did Rhaena try to ride and they played in her face, knowing that they cousins?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm really curious about who Rhaena did try to ride because they mentioned that last week, or maybe not last week, but they mentioned it this week for sure. They mentioned it before. But yeah, Seasmoke, because Seasmoke didn't have to do all that shit. Like, he really made Sir Darkland think that he did it. He thought that, oh shit, I've done it.
Everybody was like, oh, he said, I've done it.
Yeah.
No, baby.
Seasmoke said, all right, nigga, you thought that shit was cute. Burn both y'all niggas. And as soon as I burn y'all, I don't even want to see the aftermath. I'm bouncing. Like, y'all call me up here for this. Call me back when y'all got some real shit to talk about. Matter of fact, I'm about to bust out this bitch and I'll find my rider since y'all can't do it. I'll go find my nigga.
I want to hold off on that, but didn't just lead a pit, to your point, or didn't just leave the scene, left a whole pit. And I've been thinking about this for the last however long, the last day or so. At first, I was upset that Seasmoke wasn't quote unquote chained up. Rhaenyra makes a comment at the end of the episode when we know he's out doing his own thing, where they say, oh, Seasmoke got out. And they're like, okay, yeah, he goes and does his own thing. And I was like, y'all been letting these dragons just be outside and do whatever it is that they want to do. What if they're out wreaking havoc? And I was like, can you really chain these dragons up? And I thought about Game of Thrones, and I thought about how small those dragons were. And even probably the eggs. Now I'm wondering how big the rest of these dragons get. And they were in part saying, because you're keeping them chained up in that basement. So of course Seasmoke got to be free. This is probably not what started it, but like, when did y'all stop keeping them chained up? Or when did y'all start chaining them up so they couldn't get out?
Right.
Because these is the guys.
Right. That's a fair question. And I love that you brought up the fact that those Game of Thrones dragons are so small in comparison to what we're seeing in House of the Dragon. I don't know. That's a real good point. But you gotta let them be who they are. It's a relationship that you really won't understand unless you are a Targaryen or Valyrian or whoever else is able to ride these dragons, because it's like a dog, I guess. They leave, but they know where home is. They'll come back, and I'm sure they can get summoned. I'm sure if I needed you, like where you at?
You'll hear me.
Like, you would see Caraxes ain't bounced. Like Daemon and Harrenhal. Caraxes probably like, nigga, it's time to get up out of here. But I'm gonna wait for Daemon until we get up out. Do you want to go to Lord Corlys and Alan, or they have their conversation? Do you want to go to the smear campaign that Rhaenyra is placing on the Greens?
Corlys.
All right, so we see Lord Corlys, and then we see him with his son, who he's yet to refer to. Yeah. He's talking to Alan specifically because Adam, as he says later on, I get ignored. That's my role. Like, he don't even acknowledge me as a human being, let alone a son. But Corlys wants Alan to sail with him as his first mate. Feels like he's
As
more
he
than
would
ready.
if he wasn't his bastard.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
Alan is sitting here trying to deny his blessings, block his own blessings. Um, Corliss tells him, I was younger than you when I took my first command. Chill out with the imposter syndrome shit. Like, stop. You're not about to sit here and tell me. And Alan even still trying to play it cool. Like, is this an order or a request? Corliss laughed at that nigga like, my nigga, make sure your ass on the ship in the morning. Like, we riding out. Like, stop playing with me. And Adam couldn't believe it. Adam's in the background. He couldn't believe it. Like, couldn't believe that Alan is being this super humble about everything that's going on. And then we get a later scene with the two of them when Alan is shaving his head. And they have a good conversation where,
It's derma
um,
plane.
listen, Adam tells him, step up and get what you owe, bruh.
Yeah.
Rachel, you just mentioned whether you were my bastard child or not, like you've earned and deserved this.
Hmm.
Like this is who you're supposed to be. Like step
Yeah.
up and step into that role. Like stop being afraid of what you're supposed to be. Driftwood, if you play your hands right, could even be yours. Like so, I don't know why you're so humble about that. You're belittling your opportunity. I can't even get a hello. I can't even get a nigga to wave at me.
Hmm.
At least he acknowledges you and he wants to take you to see he's promoting you, bro. Take advantage of that. And Adeline tells him, like, bro, he's never, I know what you want. He's never going to acknowledge this as his sons. Like ever. Like
So you
we might know, but he ain't gonna say it. I just thought that was an interesting conversation. What were your thoughts about the whole Alan and Adam, Lord Corliss family
think
ties?
Alan, I don't think he's really being fake humble, even though that is what he said essentially to Corliss and again later to Adam. Like, I want my men to think I deserved it. I don't want to temper any feelings. However, the men wouldn't think shit because everybody knows that you're the one who saved him from the sea stones. So much so that they even told the Princess Rhaenys that you're the one who kept her husband alive. She knows you're his bastard. She knew you were his bastard because she knows that nigga's face like her own. Not to mention she has two children with that very same face, only a couple shades lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Hull is fucking scared to go to war with them fucking dragons.
You
You
think that's what it is? He just scary?
Yep. He already said when we met him that he wasn't trying to go out there. When Adam first presented, like, what if he did exactly what he did in this scene? Adam says, what if he asks you to sail with him? What if he does this and the third? Adam said, you don't know what's coming. I've seen some things. I've seen just a little bit. So you think that the small folk don't know what's going on? We the ones doing this blockade. We the ones ready in these ships. Nigga, we are about to be into some shit. It's about to go down in the trenches. I don't really want to do all of that. It may be a little bit of, this my daddy who's denied me for however many years. Am I really fucking with that nigga like that? I don't know, my lord. But to me, the nigga is scared. And I think that there is a point or a little bit of truth to, would he have acknowledged us? Or he'll never acknowledge. It's like those kids sitting on a stoop waiting on their dad who never comes home. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing, which made me think that that's what Adam has been on for their lives, like always having that longing for Corliss to come home and to come claim him. And even though you told me their mother also has ships, so they got it honest, this work. You know what I'm saying? They are salting.
Yeah.
What is it, salt and sea?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it's very tricky. I'm very interested in how this all plays out. And obviously, Alan doesn't have a choice. So I'm gonna see your ass on tomorrow.
We'll get back to Adam. We'll come back to that
For
conversation.
sure.
Let's jump over to Team Green real quick. Let's go
Yeah.
check in on them. Aemond goes to visit his brother. Just a
Mhm.
loving younger brother. Just wants to see how his brother's doing. Make sure his recovery is going well. Do you need anything?
Before you get to that, do you want to hit that council first, which leads Aemon into
Oh
into
yeah.
Aegon's rule.
So okay then. So let's back up all the way then, like a little
Yeah.
bit. Let's go to the black, and then we'll lead right into everything. So just follow me real quick.
Okay.
So we see Lord Bartimos.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Bartimos is walking through Dragonstone with Queen Rhaynera, giving his unsolicited thoughts because I didn't ask you shit. And Queen Rhaenyra has had enough. She's done with all of us as viewers. All of us on Team Black have wanted to do to her entire council
Mm-hmm.
since the first ounce of disrespect. She turned around and smacked that nigga. Right hand to left cheek.
Mm-hmm.
It is my fault, which I think is the bar of the season so far.
Mm-hmm.
It is my fault, I think, that you have forgotten to fear me.
Period. Does
Letting you
Rhaenyra the
know
queen have to smack a bitch?
she have to smack a bitch. Like, seriously, do I gotta start putting my hands on y'all for y'all to know what time it is?
I still am a Targaryen. I'm Damon's wife. He ain't the only one laying hands.
Sick of this shit. And as a growing theme with Rhaenyra, she alluded to this when she had her conversation with Jace at the end of last episode. How long can I sit back while other people are out there fighting on my behalf for my claim?
Mm-hmm.
So we see her right after that smack go and pick up a sword. I'm not sure what sword it was or what name it had, but she's just picking up a sword. Mysaria even tells her, like, that's befitting, that's becoming of you. Like that fits you. Obviously, there's some comfort from Mysaria as well in regard to Sir Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
It was worth the risk. Like I know we didn't want to turn out like this, but that shit was worth it.
Yeah.
We need to find you some dragon riders. I know, like, pretty much that's how it works. If, with great risk come reward. What did Robert McCall say in The Equalizer? If you pray for the rain, you got to deal with the mud too. Like that's just kind of how this game is. Mysaria is trying to keep her on track with that. Street's been talking. I just want you to know, Queen, King's Landing, they fed up.
Yeah.
They ain't got no food. They hungry. They starving. I think that we can make a little play and maybe get some of those people on our side. I got a whole idea set in motion. And then that kind of gets us to King's Landing.
Yes.
Where we see the food is being scarce. Hugh's wife is trying to get, she says, I'll even take scraps. Mm-hmm. There is no food left. And then we see lambs coming by, which appear to be Vagar's food. So the dragons are eating better than us.
The only dragon in King's Landing. That's for Vagar.
Yeah. The dragons are eating better than us. So we all kind of fucked up. We're working on this blockade. Mm-hmm. Aemond, you need a hand. You see, well, first, let me back up. Was this our Iron Rod? Who said it? Jasper Iron Rod Wild. Mm-hmm. Is telling Aemond that the people are getting restless. We're working on the blockade. Once again, Aemond, is like, how is this our fault anyway? We're not even the ones that ordered the blockade. Sir Clubfoot. They always gonna look to the throne to help them out. Don't matter who did what to who. We said this before. Don't matter who did what to who. You their leader. That's what they looking to. We need to get you a hand. We need you to get somebody to counsel. Let's talk about this. Let's pause. Let me pause it right here. Let me throw it in your court. Mm-hmm. We see Sir Larys get this off on damn near everybody he comes in contact with. Mm-hmm. Aemond ain't having it. What did you think about the conversation between Larys and Aemond?
Okay, that's not the council, the Green Council. I thought you was going to. So.
Oh no! I was just getting to the point where, that was the council meeting where the Grand Maester came in at the end.
He came in right. Right.
Yeah. So this happened right before he went to go see Aemond. So my bad.
Yes. First off, Larys is a sneaky snake. However, not sneaky enough. Again, Aegon and Alicent is the only fools in the castle. Aemond, he a different kind of fool. What did Alicent say? He has the something of youth. Oh, I can't think of the word, but blah, 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 blah. Aemond said, who the fuck is you playing with? What are we talking about?
I ain't my mama or my brother.
One of these fools, and I know what you've been doing. I don't need no master of spies. Lyris ass was trying to lay the groundwork to be like, oh, well, you need a hand, da 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 da, da, you need the help. I sure the fuck do. And who did Aemond say to call like I knew he would? Big Otto. Who
You called
else?
it. Once
I
again, Rachel, you called it.
come on. I know these niggas. There was no reason to, there's nobody else to call. I knew that Aemond, while I might can play with Kristen, I don't respect you like I respect my grandsire who has done this shit multiple times, who has the respect across the realm. You're making a name for yourself. My grandsire has one. Laris was shook because he did not see that not going in his favor. He said, oh, Your Grace, you honor me. He said, No, 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 you fool. Whatever he
Yeah,
called him.
you told.
Told, uh, Go get him. Call him. Page him. Send the raven. Go. You got 2 fortnights to get to where you need to be. Go get my grandsire.
You thought I was feeling you?
I wanted to say to Lyris, hey, here go your face. Hey, here
Hey,
go
straight up, bro.
your
Because that shit always works for Lyris.
for
That little
sure.
slick shit always works. He just thought, all right, man, yeah, you're right. I'll leave the responsibility to you.
Yeah.
Your Grace, I'm honored. I never considered. No, not you, nigga. You thought I'm. Come
Of
on, bro.
course you
You
did.
thought I'm about to make you my hand? Stop playing with me. Go get my granddad. Call that nigga
Period.
up.
Period.
Call Paige. Send that raven. Send 3 ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I expect him here in a fortnight.
Yeah.
Like personally. Like, come on, man. Like Sir Laris really thought he was about to get that off.
He did. He
He really thought
did.
he was
I
about to
don't
get that
know
off.
why,
That shit's funny.
but he did.
Yeah,
So the
man.
doctor lets us know that Aegon is awake and he's
Mm-hmm.
made drastic improvements. Amos said, "Not on my watch."
Not on my watch, buddy.
So
We
he
gonna holler
goes,
at Big Bro.
yeah, he goes to his brother's sick bed and basically tries to kill this nigga again. We see Aemon or Aegon wrapped in seaweed and probably milk of the poppy, everything, and just being pulled that dead ass skin. Ugh, yuck. Um,
HBO can chill on y'all can chill on
for the
that shit.
graphics,
Just
no, for
FYI,
sure.
y'all can relax.
For sure. So Aemon comes and he comes and asks, "What do you remember?" And while he's doing that, he's pressing the attendance, the council ball attendance sheet into Aegon's burns. Nigga, I, I don't remember shit.
Yeah,
You tried to attack Melis. You failed.
that was foolish. That was foolish. Why'd you do that, bro?
Why did you do that? I don't remember anything. I think that Aegon was more afraid in this moment than he was when he realized Aemon was trying to kill him, when he Dracarys him. He was more
Yeah,
afraid of, in this moment, the fear in his eyes was greater than the fire coming at me. Because now you're about to kill me up close in my bed where I'm completely incapacitated.
yeah. It's something about the worst part. I thought that was the worst part. I thought being in the air on that dragon, seeing that fire, I thought that
Mhm.
was the worst part. Now the worst part is that you ain't done.
Yeah.
The worst
Yeah.
part is now I know for real. Like no matter what I thought, right? Even if I convinced myself that that was just in the heat of the battle, now I
Mhm.
know for sure that you were trying to kill me.
Yep.
You want my seat.
Yep.
Like, what do you remember is code for a nigga? Shut the fuck up.
And don't say a
Don't say
word.
shit. Keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
I might let you breathe around this bitch. But until then, you got to be quiet. Aegon got uncomfortable. That was one thing I noticed about that scene, and with Aemon as a whole. When we talked about that first Green Council meeting, the intimidation tactics that Aemon uses, like the way he'll hover over you, the way he'll talk from standing.
Mm-hmm.
We all know, like, if I'm sitting down, like, don't stand over me, bro.
Yeah, over
Like, don't
me.
even if I'm standing up, like, don't stand behind me like that, bro. Get in
Mm-hmm.
front of me where I can see you. All of that shit. I get too paranoid for that. He's using all these tactics. As soon as Aegon sees Aemon, he starts like tugging at the sheets. Like his
Hmm.
body is naturally. Every time I see you, it's like I see the boogeyman.
Yeah.
Like who is around right now that can help me? Because this
Nobody.
nigga tried to kill me. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And if the Grand Maester didn't walk in,
He would
he
have.
would have pressed that thing through his chest.
Yes. It ain't but a myelin sheath worth of skin there.
Nothing. He can probably see his organs.
Yeah, he definitely made him worse.
Let me ask you, since we're talking about Aegon
Hmm.
in the bed, do you want to have the conversation now about Larys and Aegon,
Yeah, we can.
which happens later in
Larry,
the episode?
Larry should have had his ass on his way to Old Town. Instead, he coming to see what Aegon almost dead ass is doing.
So it's his. Let me ask you this, Rachel.
Hmm.
Obviously, this is just a play
Yeah.
because that's what Larys is. Larys doesn't really have any true loyalty, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I know for sure now where I stand with your brother. Your brother ain't fucking with me. Like you
Yeah.
had use for me. You told me.
You
My father
grateful.
never saw. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm. My father never saw the. He never wanted Master Whispers. I've always wanted one. Like
Hmm.
you are of value to me and my counsel.
Yeah.
I know your brother ain't fucking with me. He gonna put me off to the side. I'm his errand boy.
Yeah. If I can even stay in the damn castle.
Exactly. Let me come to Aegon and really like give him some game. Like while
Hmm.
he's in and out of consciousness, let me see what's up. So he tells him, I ain't gonna lie to you, my guy, my dog. Like you fucked up out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Like you probably would have been better off just being left out there. But since they brought you back, you ain't really about to have nothing. You might not. You're not even gonna be able to run again.
Hmm.
However, you have your mind, and people underestimate you. I can tell you from experience, if you have those two things, you can really do a lot of damage.
Hmm.
Um, your brother is ruling, which means your life is in danger.
Hmm.
But I think you already know that. Like you already know your brother wants that seat.
Yeah.
Aegon hits him with the help.
Hmm.
Do you see an alliance coming there? Do you? How do you? Does what does that look like to you? Do you? Aegon as a whole, we got 2 episodes left this season, and I don't know what's going to happen. Does Aegon continue to live with
Yeah.
Aemond ruling?
For a little while.
Is it because he's keeping his mouth shut? Like I just don't see Damon. Aemond can't get rushed back. He even told the Grand Maester, like, it looks like the king has a long road to recovery. His way
Hmm.
of saying, nigga, chill out with the treatments. Let that nigga
Yeah.
sit there and just be immobile.
I don't see Aemon coming to check Aegon's progress daily. Also, this Grand Maester essentially raised these boys, or they were raised around him. And
Mm-hmm.
so there is a level of not just deference, because this is the actual king, but a level of benevolence because I've known you and watched you grow and have been around you for your whole life. I don't see Black Maester not treating Aegon,
Right.
even if he does it in secret. So Aegon does get better. The reality is, Larys gives us his swan song about, being a clubfoot. They thought it was sorcery, which makes sense coming from Harrenhal. Somebody probably did put something on fucking Larys, or Larys's mother. So this baby came out with a club foot. Looking at you, Alice, or maybe your mama, who might be Larys's mother. Who knows? um. So I don't know, but I think that alliance that they build does work in Aegon's favor, and Lyricist for this matter. He keeps him up to date on what's going on, and he helps Aegon survive essentially.
Yeah. That's a storyline to keep an eye on. Just the
Hmm.
whole Aegon, Aemon. Are they going to have a conversation? How is that going to look overall for them?
Hmm.
Um, I don't fully know, but I am interested to see how that plays out and what the final plan is. This is actually pretty fun because I literally don't know what's going to happen these next 2 weeks. I don't know how this season is going to settle, or how we're going to end it, or what cliffhanger. So I guess we'll
Hmm.
see there. Where do you want to take it next, Rachel?
I want to. Allison also visits Aegon on that deathbed. And she
Mhm.
says, I thought he was getting better. This is after Aemond comes and presses that ball into his chest, making him worse. So now the nigga can't hardly breathe. And this is again maybe the second time we've seen Allison be remorseful
Mhm.
because she blames herself. He would not be in this had I not have been harsh with him in regards to his foolishness. While it was something that he needed to hear, you ain't have to do it all like that, especially when I'm already dealing with a bruised ego of a child I did not nurture and love the way that I should have. So we learned that Allison has also been trying to reach Otto Hightower, and he ain't answering. We've learned that the Beesberries have raised arms against the Hightowers as retribution for their lord's demise. And I'm not sure who Lord Beesbury is. Is that who Kristen Cole killed at the first council after Viserys died last year or last season?
I don't know. That's a good question. Um,
I guess I could have Googled it, but
let's
we know that.
see. I know they're sworn to the high towers.
Hmm.
Hmm. There's a lot of information here, so I'm not really 100% sure where they are.
But it's somebody that the Greens have essentially killed. I want to talk about something.
Alan
I
Beesbury, because he was on the Blacks. I don't know. There's a lot of information, but we can keep going.
Okay, so well, that makes sense because he would have been somebody killed by the Greens. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, I understand Alicent being green because that is her family's color, Hightower. I was thinking about this as we were getting ready. I'm really, really, really surprised, and I guess it's just that power hungriness or power hunger for the throne. I would not have abandoned my black Targaryenism, which is what essentially these green children have done.
I don't know
Or
what you mean when you say that.
I mean, Rhaenyra is carrying the black and red flag of the true Targaryens.
Yeah. Which children? I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Which children are you talking about?
Darren, Aegon, Aemon, Helena.
Mm.
They've chosen green as your mother and grandsire versus maintaining the Targaryens. So y'all hate y'all mama, but y'all chose that.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me say this. Did they really choose it, or was this the most opportunistic path? And what I mean by that is,
Always a
mom
choice.
already. Yeah, it's always a choice. You're right. But if you made it, if you gave me the play, and now I'm king,
Mm-hmm.
like, you done set it up for me. I'm king, and if I'm
Yeah.
Aemond, if I go over there, I'm never gonna be in this seat. But I can take out this dumb nigga and possibly be king one day. Do you think they looked at it like that, or they're abandoning?
I get it. Maybe, but I
I feel you.
don't want to hear shit about Targaryen, this, that, and the third because y'all high towers. Y'all repping the high tower colors. Targaryen guys is different than what y'all got going on over here. This ain't what we do.
Mm. I guess I never really sat down and thought of it like that. But now I'm thinking about it.
I'm really thinking about this.
Mm.
Everything except for this stark white ass hair, everything Targaryen is being erased. And we talk about the mothers raising the children. Rhaenyra's mother is Targaryen.
Yeah.
Alicent Hightower is not. So Viserys, while he was busy reigning over the seven kingdoms, there's very little child rearing that he's doing. The influence and the strength of the bloodline, y'all don't care about it. It's like niggas who lead the hood. You don't care about it. You don't come home. You've abandoned the principles, the things that make us us. You want the cred. You want the street cred. Yeah, I'm from Crenshaw. I'm
That's
from XYZ. Yeah, I got this dragon, but I ain't really blood and fire.
Allison's fault.
I know. I know. But that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking about it where Aemond, he learned High Valyrian. Aegon obviously didn't. I low key would assume Helena has. I don't know. But just the things that make us us. And this is why and where the demise of that family comes, because you've abandoned and broken up the
'Cause
things that make y'all
see, right?
the
You know
guys
how
of
it
this
is.
world.
You know how it is in the community. You know how it is in the culture. We know the stereotypes that come with not seeing your dad's side of the family.
For
We
sure.
always go to mom's side for the family, for
For
the
sure.
Thanksgiving, for the
For
Christmas. We
sure.
stop fucking with dad's side of the family, and now
Mm-hmm.
look at 'em.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at them. They abandoned that Targaryen bloodline because of that whole dynamic.
Exactly. Exactly. So that was sitting on me real bad. And I guess we can talk briefly about Darren. Um, Darren is mentioned again, although he's in Old Town, or that's where he should be. But that is also where Darren Targaryen is. He left. I learned he left when he's 16 now, but so I don't know how long he been over there, because
Yeah.
we didn't meet him last season. But he basically grew up in Old Town being somebody's cupbearer, and showing like goodwill. And we learned that Gwaine, Allison's brother, we knew he didn't grow up in King's Landing, but he also was in Old Town doing his thing, and Otto left him there to I don't know, to learn and be
He
a
couldn't
man.
pimp
I
him
guess
out. He couldn't pimp him out. So I'm gonna give
he
my
might as
time
well
to
stay
Allison, and I can be the hand because you're the oldest boy. You're gonna stay back here. Um, Gawain, he's fed up. He's got to look at the feet on his face every time I
Yeah,
see
he's
him now.
scared too. He don't want to do this shit
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
The
I ain't trying to
things
go
I've
back out here.
seen, I'm not playing with these dragons. Again, he ain't grew up in King's Landing. Yes, I know they exist. Yes, I know my nephew has a dragon that's here. However, that's a friendly dragon that be at the house, not these war ready maniacs.
Mm-hmm.
With these war ready riders. This is like my nephew's puppy. Not this shit.
Straight up. There's some real shit.
Yeah, but and we also learned that, Darren the only one with a little bit of sense. He's kind.
What do you know? The one that didn't grow up with Alicent is the one that has some sense, and he's a good child.
Yeah.
I mentioned last week's the ages,
Hmm.
so I must be off by 2 years. So if you
Hmm.
bump everybody ages up, so that means Aemon is really 18.
Yeah.
Um, Aegon is 20 because I'm pretty sure I looked this up in the books.
Darren is
Aegon
the
and Darren are about 4 to 5 years apart.
okay.
So if he's 16, that means Aegon's got to be 20, 21, which means
Mm-hmm.
Aemon's a little bit older than what I thought. But yeah, if we keep hearing Darren's name,
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for him to show up on screen and
Yeah.
really see what he adds to this story.
Mm-hmm.
But however, I think that the main point of that scene was go figure your child that didn't grow up with you was actually a good person, a good human being. What's that say about you?
Hello. Hello.
Shout out to Sir
Um,
Chris and Cole too, trying to sneak them peeks in.
For sure. Shout out to that. I want to give you my blessing. But it was good to see Allison and Gawain have that little bit of a moment between the two of them. While we're in King's Landing, I don't really want to make too much of her and Kristen Cole's goodbye. It was a cute little one too. But you mentioned I want to talk about Rhaenyra's ships coming into town, and then I want to
Yeah,
talk about Queen of Fishes, since we're
yeah,
talking about Allison. So we learned the play that Alinda came to King's Landing with last week when she goes and speaks to the girl who was assaulted in the castle. She and Sylvie, we see Auntie come back for a surprise. So we now know that she still is indebted to Mysaria for whatever, because now she's a part of the play. I was
Mm-hmm.
surprised because we know that that's Aegon or Aemond's boo. For a
Yep.
lack of his paramour, you know. Um,
But
but
she
we
also told him
it's the small folk who
exactly.
suffer when the prince gets mad. Exactly. So they're back in the tavern, and we see Off, who we haven't seen. He's eating broth, essentially fish broth at that, which sounds awful.
Yuck.
And Sylvie is saying, you know, yeah, the castle, they still having a parties and feasts and banquets and this and the third. Rack of lamb, they ain't eating these fish heads and whatnot. They have real food. Now, this is after we saw the 5011 sheep or lamb going up to the castle to be fed for Vagar. So y'all eating, and the dragons is eating, they're eating better than us. And now the tone is set for the people, at least in this tavern, to know that the women are getting fucked and fed in the castle better than anything that they've got going on. And now all it takes is a little bit of word to spread. And so Mysaria, however, Alinda got the word back that everything was going well over there in King's Landing. You know, Mysaria, she and Rhaenyra in their first private moment. It's saying, you know what, the gifts are ready to be sent. Jace, he doesn't know what this is, and Rhaenyra ignores him. But it's cloudy in King's Landing that night, and all we see are ships coming ashore with the black and red Targaryen flag. I'm not sure how many ships there were essentially, but all of them were laden with food. And I don't know if that was a seagull or what, or if it was a dove. If there was a dove, that's a nice touch because, you know, peace.
Mm-hmm.
But Rhaenyra, thinking of us even now, long live Queen Rhaenyra, who has sent her flock food because she knows they're starving. Meanwhile, the Greens are in the castle having banquets and orgies and whatever else they're doing in that castle while we starve and die. Off says, yeah, Viserys loved his banquets, but never while we went without.
Never. He ain't eating if we ain't eating.
That part. So the plan worked. And I love that. Alicent
They
was a. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they were describing. It sounded like when Ray in the movie Life, when Ray was describing the Boom Boom Room, like just how shit was. Like, yeah, we got this, we got the lamb, they got all types of shit up there in King's
Mhm.
Landing, man. You don't even know how good it is. Like, damn, like we out here really, and you see, it's a great scene the way they wrote it because you see the visual representation of like this is what I'm eating, this fish
Yeah.
broth, like which what you it sounds unappetizing, and
Of
imagine
course.
that's your only option. That's what you got to do
Yeah.
every single day. Um, it was a brilliant plan, and I am glad it's working. But go
Mhm.
ahead, back to what you were saying.
I was going to ask you, was Alicent at the council where it was announced that the small folk are upset, or
No,
was she already
that was
there?
only yeah, that was already yeah. That
Okay,
actually was after that scene. That was just him, Laris, and Iron Rod.
got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay, so blah 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 blah. Before I get to back to Alicent, I want to talk about Hugh, who knocked that man out for those carrots.
Got
Sir,
a family feed.
I understand that, but the ships were still there. Like people were still going towards where they was coming in at.
Well,
You didn't have to
once
knock.
you wake up, you go down there and see if that ship's still there with more shit. Because I'm not. I need the shit now. Nigga,
Baby,
my
we
wife
need
is on
some
my
chicken
ass. She
and some
talking about
broth.
leaving me. Yeah, man. She mad I ain't got paid from the king yet. Nah, man. I'm taking this shit.
That's that
Fucked up.
Targaryen strength.
Hey, that nigga knocked that nigga clean out. So I'm taking this. This is mine now. Teach a
Yes.
man how to squabble.
Right. Stupid. So I asked if Allison was at that council because I was irritated. Like, now, if we already know the small folk are irritated and mad at the crown, why would you take your ass and send gentle ass Helena out there with you to go light some candles? Now,
Because she's thinking about
to
the dick. Remember why they was lighting candles in the first place?
for Aegon,
For Aegon, for Sir Kristen Cole, for Gwen. Like she was thinking about
for the
Kristen.
souls,
Make sure my nigga get back safely.
it's wartime. I don't know why she ain't got no candles in the house to light. I understand the sacred sept and this, that, and the third. However, it's wartime. As easy as it was for Rhaenyra to get in there, that would have been my last time in the set until all of this shit is over.
Yo, hold on. I'm sorry. That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I was in here, like I know security lacking.
Yeah.
I had a blade. Not
Mm-hmm.
only just from like a common folk person, like the
Mm-hmm.
person we are all actively trying to kill,
Yeah.
like was able to sneak in here and put a blade to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great point, Rachel. Keep going.
So Allison drags Helena from her turtle doves who stopped singing to go light these candles for her son, husband, lover. That could be for whoever. And the white cloaks burst in and said, "We gotta go because the people are upset and we gotta get the fuck up out of here." Mysaria and Rhaenyra's plan has worked, so we see. And these same people who just got this food, they hate y'all so much that they are throwing this newly gotten food at Allison and Helena. Again, Helena deserves none of this. My girl is
Nah,
just caught up in the rapture of the foolishness. But Allison,
absolutely.
baby, you deserve it. I watched that scene with bated breath because I just knew somebody was going to trip on one of them long ass dresses and it was going to be curtain sheets and rugs for either the queen or the dowager queen. That was going to be it for one of them. But the guards did what they had to do, at least the one who wasn't pummeled. They slicing off arms. They're really fighting for their lives as the girls, as the ladies make it to safety. What did you think of that scene?
It, it made perfect sense. Like, how dare you show your face? Like, how dare you have the audacity to show your
Hmm.
face when you know we all starving? Y'all
Hmm.
up there getting fat and we starving.
Yeah, eat the
And you out
rich.
here strolling around these sweet streets like everything's sweet. You think this shit's sweet? All right, then bet. Let me show you how sweet this is. I'm throwing fishes in your face.
She's a queen
Like
of fishes.
queen of fishes, man. And we can get this shit up. Like it's met the point of unrest.
Yeah.
Now it's like I don't give a fuck. Like we can fight your knights too, bro. That's how
Hmm.
mad we are. That's how upset we are. And to Rhaenyra and Mysaria's point, this is exactly what we wanted. Now
Hmm.
we're even doubting that we're on the right side. Matter of fact, we're not even acknowledging y'all no more
They was
as
carrying
queens.
flags through the town.
Yeah, like straight up, we got these flags from these boats of food.
Yeah.
This is who we rep. We rep the same smart tech now
Yeah.
because y'all got me fucked up. Y'all
Hmm.
not feeding us anything, and anytime we get a chance to see one of y'all in the streets, we gonna make an example out of you.
That part.
That's exactly what it was. I was the same way you were, Rachel. I was just thinking to myself, like, man, this is an angry mob. Like, what
Hmm.
is going to happen? Um, luckily for them, they got out of there okay. I'm glad Helena didn't get hurt. Like, once again,
Never
she don't deserve that. I knew
mind.
Allison wasn't gonna get hurt because that would have been too right.
Yeah.
That's too much like right.
Mhm.
But the Kingsguard deserve a raise. That nigga was not letting them get fucked up.
They weren't. And I'm curious as to who these guardsmen were. Are these older guardsmen
Well,
or
one of them looked like the same. If you remember the pilot episode, I can't remember his name. He was very active in season one. I
hmm
could be wrong, but he was the knight that when Rhaenyra had like taken her dragon out somewhere, He was
Mm-hmm.
just talking about like I'm relieved every single time you come back safely because I don't got to
Mm-hmm.
answer for
Mm-hmm.
you being hurt. I can't remember his name, but that looks like he was the one that was protecting
Okay.
Allison.
Okay.
So he
I
was
do
about it.
remember
Like
that then.
he was a G. He was official.
I was
But
gonna
it's
say
still
because
amazing.
yeah, because if these were the guards that Aegon hired,
The oaths,
it
hell
might have
no.
been another way.
Hey, they would have been over. It would have been over for them. The power of the oath is just incredible to me because nigga, burn the block up, nigga. I'm not about to die for Allison or Helena.
No, for
Y'all
sure.
got it.
Sure. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, there's only one more
We
place to.
gotta well, we got a couple more things to talk about. Um, one of the things that I want to before we get with the big events, we have to talk about our niece, Raina.
Yes, my girl.
So Raina is she's in the veil.
Mm-hmm.
She's walking around with Rhaenyra's son,
Joffrey.
realizing yes, Joffrey having a conversation about the impact that you can make,
Mm-hmm.
big or small. And as they're walking, she realizes, like, hold on, someone cooked here.
Mm-hmm.
Like a dragon has been here. Like
Yeah.
we get back into the castle and Lady Erin tells her, like, hey, we got good news, we got the letter, they're ready for you at Pentos.
Mm-hmm.
We go ahead and get you sent off. And Raina just pretty much said, yo, you misled me, my nigga. You
You
misled
lied.
me. You lied about your dragons. Um, you let me think that there wasn't a dragon around. Yes, there is a large dragon in the Vale, but it is wild, which
Mm-hmm.
means it doesn't have a rider, which is huge foreshadowing. We know
Yeah.
Raina's had trouble
Mm-hmm.
bonding with the dragon. This
Mm-hmm.
seems like destiny. It looks like she's determined. All she's wanted was a dragon so she can contribute and feel like she has a place in history. We have to
Mm-hmm.
remember, like, history and how you remember is such a big thing
Yeah.
for them. Their legacy and what they leave behind is so
Yeah.
huge. Are there going to be songs sang about them? They really believe in that legacy. Game of Thrones, 200 years now from now, all that shit. She sees an opportunity. I can't wait to see it come to fruition.
Yeah.
I don't know which dragon it is, but I really can't wait. I really can't wait. I thought it would have been Seasmoke because I didn't know there was any other wild dragons. Because remember
Yeah.
they have Vermithor Silverwing
Mm-hmm.
underneath
Mm-hmm.
that Dragonstone already.
Mm-hmm.
Seasmoke is we'll talk about him shortly.
I
So who
mean,
was
well,
this
he was
wild dragon?
underneath. He went
You said
wild.
what?
I said, well, Seasmoke wasn't wild.
That's what I'm
It was.
saying. Who's the wild dragon that's in the veil? What dragon is in the veil right now? That's what I'm trying to figure out. We gonna see.
We gonna see, but I would assume it's just like anything. We might have got some of these, but we ain't get them all. So here's this random
Also,
drag.
real quick before, because we should have mentioned this maybe before we got to the food, but I just want to
Mhm.
mention this real quick. Jace goes see his mom.
Yeah.
Everybody in the castle said you slap fire out of Lord Bartimos. Rhaenyra's pretty much telling him, I'm tired of being protected. And people see me as when they see me, they see their moms, they see their daughters, but they don't see their ruler.
Yeah.
Like, that's the issue that I'm having right now. Um, Jay said, my mother is my ruler. I wouldn't have any other way. But the main point that he made in this conversation was regardless of what we do now, regardless
Mhm.
of what kind of army we mustered up, I know you don't want to hear this shit. I don't want to tell you this shit, but we need Damon. We
Yeah.
need Damon and Caraxes.
Hmm.
And that's just kind of what it is. Um, they keep. Where do you think this is going to land? Do you think Damon is going to come back home to the aid, or is he still going to continue to fight for his own claim, like he said last week? And he will let Rhaenyra rule with him as queen.
I think it depends on what happens when I can't think of the guard who she sent to Heron Hall last week. It depends on what he discovers and what he comes back with.
Oh, damn, what was my man's name?
Him.
Not Strong. Yeah.
Albert.
Yes. Broom. Alfred Broom. Maybe.
Alfred. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on whatever that is. I do believe that Damon will fight, even if it's just Aemond. I don't know. He will fight the Greens, and we'll see from there.
The enemy of my enemy is a friend. He
Yeah,
might fight the Greens, but it might not. It might not necessarily be on behalf of the blacks.
it's gonna be on behalf of Damon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll see. So we got two big things left in this episode, Rachel. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go with Do
Mysaria.
you want to go with Seasmoke looking for his rider? Or do you want to go with Atlantic Star?
We can go to Atlantic Star because I want to hold Seasmoke.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about Atlantic Star. If you don't know who Atlantic Star is, they made a song called Secret Lovers. Go ahead and run that up. Let's go ahead and talk about Atlantic Star because we have Rhaynera and Mysaria. A sweet moment of transparency and openness.
Which was not in the script.
Honestly,
Anyway. Go ahead.
I saw that and I clicked on it but never read or watched. I think it was the video. I didn't watch it, so maybe you can say more about it if you know anything. But Rhaenyra, we see the self doubt. I don't think I can win this war, mainly because the people that I trust around me don't think I can win this war. Jace doesn't have any confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even if I do win, what does it mean that the people that I have around me don't, necessarily believe in my? I don't want to say believe in my claim because they do, but
Yeah.
just have their own doubts and
Mm-hmm.
reservations about what it looks like for Rhaenyra to be on the throne. Everyone doubts me. I think Damon has turned against me. All of these things are finally being said out
Rhaenyra be
loud.
knowing. She know.
Rhaenyra be knowing. Mysaria gives this heartbreaking story about why she doesn't trust anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to get into it, but my goodness,
Yeah.
that's just brutal. But it lines up perfectly with her character as to like how can I trust anyone if deemed the person I was deemed to trust growing up
Mm-hmm.
betrayed me in this manner
Yeah.
and did the most heinous of acts to me. Um, but she also tells her, when I say her, Mysaria tells
Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra, like, hey, put your mind at ease. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're steadfast. Like, I truly and honestly believe that you should be queen. And there's nothing like that affirmation, that confidence. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
believe in you.
Yeah.
Like, even when you don't believe in yourself, when you hear that and you know somebody means it. And also, Rachel, I know those type of hugs.
Yeah.
I know what type of hugs those are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Even before it turned into one of those type of hugs, the reality is that Rhaenyra really needed a fucking hug.
she did.
She's reeling. Rhaenyra is still reeling from the deaths of Viserys, of Luke. Fucking her husband is gone after he slapped her and choked her. So ain't no telling what kind of shit Damon was on. My my throne has been usurped. Like my girl is down bad. I just sent one of my second best knight, because the other one already died defending me. I'm mourning Sir Eric. Now I'm mourning Sir Stefan. Like, I'm fucking tired, bro. And my son coming here questioning me, reminding me that my nigga is gone. Like, I need a fucking break. I need a hug. And here is Mysaria, who, despite that touching story, also is a woman of the night and knows how to use what she got to get what she want. I don't know how I feel about this touching moment yet. I like that Mysaria has been down, but again, she can't trust, and so how much can you trust her? And I didn't give you, to her request, Rhaenyra didn't give her a place on her council. While we got these secret dealings, okay, but you ain't got what you asked for from me yet either. Can you be enticed
Is
by a
this
little
a
stuff when you ain't been
so you
touched?
think this is a play?
Could be. I don't think
Damn,
it's
is Mysaria that? I believe Mysaria. I believe she believes that.
you could, but it don't. Two things can be true. I haven't gotten what I wanted. I saved your life. How much is that worth?
But hold on. But well, being next to her, and hold on, we got to discuss this weird dynamic. You, my husband's ex girl,
Come on,
and now I'm fucking on you.
wife.
Yeah.
Remember, David
Are they
fake married.
married?
He was trying to. If he didn't, he tried to say she was pregnant, which we know that that was a lie because she already said she can't get pregnant because her daddy cut her fucking shit out. But yeah, I think it's something a little funny. I don't think it's as easeful as one would want. And candidly, what am I gonna do? I might as well stay here. I'm being fed well. I ain't starving in King's Landing. I actually do fuck with Rhaenyra. We've already had this Barbara, this is Shirley moment, and we've been bonding. I've become a confidant to you, so maybe I'm just your master of whisperers, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be on your council. Because Lair's about to get the boot from Aemond, so
no pun intended.
yeah,
Larry's about to get the boot.
no, for sure, for sure. So I don't know. I don't trust it completely, but I'm not mad at somebody getting a little smooch in their time of need because my girl needs it.
It's wartime. Tensions is high. You got to release that stress somehow.
All right, release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin, girl. But it had been building. Even the moment where Mysaria lets Rhaenyra know that the plan was in motion, and Jace is like, "What y'all talking about?" And we know that they already have the secret, of this. So what else is just between y'all prior to this very special, intimate moment?
Nothing like some good old fashioned sexual tension.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Good old fashioned. You know what I mean? Like I said, I know what those hugs are.
Yeah.
Giving plenty of those hugs out in my day.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
I'm scared of you.
I'm just saying, man. You just never know when you need it.
Yeah, for sure.
Never know when you need it. Man. A long time ago. Long time ago, like Bernie Mac said. Yeah.
But that sets us up perfectly because it lets us know they were interrupted before it went any further, which it for sure would have. Because neither one of them been touched, touch me on the inside and make me feel good. We learned that Seasmoke again has gotten loose. This nigga is gone, which we know. Yeah, he leave, he come and go as he so chooses.
Yeah, it's cool.
But now he's got a rider. Earlier in the episode, we see Seasmoke out in the trenches, surveilling the land in the same location he saw Adam hold before.
Mm-hmm.
The townspeople obviously see a dragon. They know that war is afoot. They get the fuck on up out of there. And Seasmoke is toying with Adam. He's a hunter. He chases this man down. He tripping over logs and rocks. And much differently than his interaction with Stephen Darkland, Seasmoke is chill. He said, "Oh, y'all brought this in front of me, but this is what I'm looking for. This is a blacks only.
Blacks only.
This is a colored section only dragon. I only do black shit.
Y'all seen my last rider. Stop playing with me.
Stop playing with me. This is for the niggas, strictly for the niggas. Okay." I don't know what this random knight in shining armor was talking about. I need Valyrian blood, some melanated skin, and some locks. Beyond that, don't fuck with me, man. Okay.
Listen.
I'm not fucking with these people. Seasmoke was like, no.
Seasmoke said, "Oh, Leonard." Seasmoke said, "Leonard got a brother."
Over it, but I love that.
Oh, word?
Sir Adam, or I don't want to call him Sir Adam the Bastard, becomes the first person successfully on that dragon. Rhaenyra she hears word, she goes to the pit herself and gets the fuck up on up out of there. She already said she was tired of being a sitting duck. Now I got to go see what the fuck is going on for myself. They immediately thought it was the Greens, which made sense, but who would have been able to ride Seasmoke from the Greens?
Yeah, that was my question, because it sounds like you're the only one. You and Jace are probably the only ones that look back in history to even
Yeah.
see. I'm sure nobody on the Greens, especially with Aemond over there, he's
Mm-hmm.
not letting anyone outside of
Right.
Targaryen even try to think about riding a dragon.
Right.
Um, I guess I can understand the angst, but at the same time, and even if I didn't know, even if it isn't a green, that I'm even
Mm-hmm.
more curious to know, because who the fuck is out here just claiming a dragon?
Yeah, well, that's
And
what
what
Jay
is it like?
said.
Are
If
you
we,
an enemy or are you a friend? Friend or foe? Yo, state your biz. Like,
yeah,
which one is it?
yeah,
Um, I just want to highlight again, because you said everything perfectly. Seasmoke is just by far, like I said, the funniest dragon to me. Like, the most personality. Like, Seasmoke know what he be doing.
for sure.
He know he's trying to be funny. Like I said, I'm gonna get your bastard son
Yeah.
and let him bond with me. But also, my people, my people. There should be more black people working at NASA, and you know, be enrolled in MIT, because the creativity and the genius of the memes and the gifs. Like, they put a kufi on my nigga Seasmoke. Like, there's so many classic timeless memes that I've seen
For sure.
because of his black only
Yeah,
preference.
baby, this is
Shout
a
out to
cold
Seasmoke.
sector. I want to say this, and then the thought literally just came to my mind. See Smoke, like Ray niece, looked at this bastard and said, I know this nigga.
Mm-hmm.
This is my brother. This is my rider's brother. I know this face. I know, even if the skin does not match, I know this person. That bloodline matters when you consider these fucking dragons. They had the same moment. He was looking at his face just like Renice had Alan's face. You know, I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited for next week to see how that standoff with Rhaenyra goes. Obviously, Corliss has to acknowledge once this comes up. Okay, Corliss, you got to acknowledge who this random nigga is on the dragon.
that's you're absolutely right. That's a great place to leave it, because when I saw the preview for next week, that's the number one thing I'm waiting on. How does
Yeah.
this interaction go? But before we get out of here, Rachel, I got to ask you one question.
Okay.
You're minding your business somewhere in Westeros.
Mm-hmm.
A dragon approaches you,
Mm-hmm.
bonds with you.
Mm-hmm.
You now claim this dragon, you can ride it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing you're doing? What's the first thing you're doing with your dragon? You settling any old beef? Are you just going on a ride? You just taking a cruise? Because I'm just trying. I was really trying to think, like, yo, if I had a dragon, like the level of excitement would be through the roof. But what would be the first thing that do I want to up the score on somebody? Like, what do I want to do with my first ride?
My first, I just want to enjoy the glory of it.
Mm,
Now, will I go do some funny shit for sure? But my first ride, I just want to be like, oh, you chose me for me,
yeah,
and just experience what the rest of these people have experienced for centuries.
that's
Which,
probably yeah. I probably would do that too, just because that's a real, like, I can go places where nobody's going
yeah, and
on this
quickly.
dragon.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. But you best believe, if we got any unsettled beef, oh, I'm up in the score, my nigga. I got a
For
dragon
sure,
now.
for sure.
Even if it's just to fuck with you, I might not even
Just
do nothing. It might be unfair.
because he might not know Dracarys is the trigger.
That's the thing. That's what I'm. He need a manual. He needs
You
to
need a
figure out
crash
what's going
course
on.
in dragon riding. Uh-huh. Because even think about Stefan Darkland. Rebis, Seasmoke. It's just another swag, another level of something that you have to have when you bring in that Valerian mixed with English. Do you know Valerian? I don't know. Your daddy ain't raised you. Y'all seem to be gentle, kind, slow children. So again, you ain't got the lessons. Whatever your mama was doing, she know Valerian. I don't know. She just a sea woman. I don't know. I don't know what you know.
We gonna
Did you
see.
go
We
learn it on
gonna
your
see.
own?
That's a lot of questions. I got to figure out. There's no guide to this. So um, we're gonna see, Rachel. We got 2 episodes left. We have the penultimate episode. I
Which is
just want to
typically your
say,
favorite episode.
always my favorite episode. Penultimate episodes rarely disappoint. I believe this week is going to be, or next week is going to be no different. So yeah, but Rachel, this is another great conversation.
For sure. It's been a great one. Thank you all for listening again for the umpteenth time. Like, comment, share, subscribe, share, join the conversation with us across all platforms: Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Talk to us on IG. There is an email which would be linked if you have something that you just want to say, or even if there's a show coming out that you want us to consider covering, tap in. I do run the We Got Y'all page, so it might be late, but I'm gonna look at it.
Hey, hey, as long as
Bless
you're
you.
available,
That's it. That's
as
it.
long as you're
So thank
available,
y'all
we
so much.
everything Rachel just said. We appreciate y'all. Rachel, you already know what it is. I love you.
I love you. I do.
Peace. We out.